What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Rangers Talk. Here with Nico. Nick will be joining us soon, and later we're also going to be joined by Bill Pidto around 12 o'clock. So we got a lot to get to today. So yeah, before we jump into it, leave a like, subscribe, all of that, and turn on your notifications also. But like I said, a lot. We're going to talk preseason. We're going to talk line combinations. We're going to talk it all, and we're going to talk to the panicking Nick later about the season because last night he elected to keep me up until 4 a.m. and talk about how he's panicking for the Rangers season. And we were going to talk about that either way. So we'll probably end up starting with it, just trying to buy time a bit here for Nick to get on because we don't know where he is. We don't know where he is at all. And we do have some people in the chat here waiting for the comments to come through. And here, New York Style, how are you doing? Mike, good morning to you. But yeah, going to be a crazy episode here. I do want to add this quickly. But I want to know from chat, how are you guys feeling lately about the preseason? Because there is obviously some good and some bad about the preseason lately. It was awesome meeting you. Yeah, it was great meeting you too. Great to finally see what you look like too. So that was great to meet you at the game. No reason to panic yet. Yeah, same weakness as last season, but we seem to do on last year. I agree. Yeah, I feel like last year was pretty much the same thing. They sucked in the preseason last year, sucked on opening night last year, and they kind of got off to a slow start. Go on teams get off to slow starts regardless. So I'm not panicking too much. And yeah, agree with this. They need to limit the 2-on-1s, but I'm not overly concerned right now because if you look at who was allowing most of the 2-on-1s, Libor Hayek and Matt Bertowski, who are not going to be playing hockey this year, you hope at least. Could you imagine those guys play?
Oh my God, I would pass away if I saw that in a regular season game. But yeah, thankfully, as you said, we probably don't have to worry about that. Should be Zach Jones, Braden Schneider all the way on that third D pairing. We already know Schneider will be there, of course. Just a matter of, I mean, it's not official on that sixth spot yet. We're assuming Zach Jones, and it should be Zach Jones. So, I mean, we're going to find out in the next few days for sure.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it is. But this team needs to desperately sign a veteran defenseman. This is not a good spot.
Yes, they do.
This is not good. And I don't know who they could get. Who's even available at this point?
Dahan is not available anymore, is he? I think he's signed.
Well, like, what is with guys like? Didn't Dahan also take like a sweetheart deal?
He did, I'm pretty sure.
What is with these guys taking sweetheart deals? Why couldn't the Rangers go after Paul Stastny this offseason? Why couldn't they get Dahan? Those are two guys that were signed for a premium. Where were you?
Big questions, exactly. That's terrible.
There's got to be something about the fact that this team isn't trusted by players yet to take a discount. Maybe they don't think this team could win a cup. I don't know what it is, but the only somewhat decent veteran defenseman, which makes me throw up either way, that the Rangers could sign right now is Danny DeKeyser, which not good, not good at all. But that's your best option.
Yeah. At this point, I mean, you can't really even go for a veteran defenseman. None of these guys are competent to be playing in the NHL anymore. That's left available. You had your opportunity on guys like the Han. There was other names out there. He's here.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, they had defensemen, but no, you can't even.
Yeah, and there's none left. There's none left now, and the Rangers sat on their hands and they decided to not do anything. And I'm aggravated by it. But yeah, no Nemeth. Thank God. We are off to a better start with no Patrick Nemeth this year. I'd rather throw Libor Hayek out there because at least he could skate.
That's true. For sure.
Halak didn't look good last night. I disagree to an extent. I don't think that a lot of the goals were in his control. There was a lot of odd man rushes. He bailed them out time after time. There was only so many times he was going to be able to stop the 2-on-1s. And the fifth goal, is the only goal I could really be mad at him, and maybe the Zaka goal. But outside of that, I mean, Miller can't make that pass on that Zaka goal, and Truba needs to play the body there as well. Simple as that. Vince predicting laugh with Trocheck and Brett and Kako and Nika and Chris. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I think they like the kid line, and they need to keep them together. I agree
Yeah.
that VC should be signed, but we'll jump into the questions that we have lined up. So I want to start with this. What went right and what went wrong in last night's game versus Boston? We'll start with Nick, who is going to give us the fairly obvious
No,
in what went
no,
wrong.
no. I don't want to go first. You guys go first because I'm probably have the most, I guess, critical things to say after our
Oh,
conversation last
we
night.
know.
So
Oh, we know.
you guys,
Uh,
so I'll let you guys go first.
Nico, you start then.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't too big of a fan of the defensive display, of course. There's a lot of odd man rushes. But as you did say, that did come from that last horrific D pairing. So I wasn't that, concerned about that end, but there was some sloppy plays by Truba and Miller. I mean, we've seen that multiple times where, they could kind of break down on the defensive side sometimes or a decent little amount. So that I mean, whatever there. I liked how everyone else looked on the offensive end. I think the offense looked good. Mika, Kreider, VZ. I mean, hopefully VZ's not on the first line. I don't know who you're gonna put there. You're probably gonna keep swapping with guys like Sammy Blake, Barkley Goodrow, just experimenting these different guys, which doesn't make sense to me. But as you said, you got to keep that kid line together. They've looked phenomenal. Capo Caco netting 2 goals last night was great to see. And they just all play really well together, so that's good. And as for Panarin, Trocheck, and Kratsov, I think they look solid. Kratsov to me is a little disappointing. I haven't seen what I wanted from him too much. I hope he could pick it up because Rangers need a good year out of Vitaly Kratsov. No hiding that. Halak, I think, as he said, was not really to blame for a lot of the stuff that happened. Maybe 1 or 2 goals you could put the blame, but he was being left out to dry on most of the occasions. So overall, I mean, I don't like to overreact too much to preseason, but there's the positives, there's the negatives, but overall, I'm not too concerned.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm not overly worried, which we'll get to the level of panic soon. But in terms of what went right, I did like the way that they played offensively for the most part, especially the kid line, like we mentioned. They played great. The Trocheck Panarin line with Kravtsov, that line was atrocious in my opinion. A -7 combined. Also, there was a lot of lazy back checking from that line, and it was definitely concerning, especially Panarin. Panarin also taking a couple dumb penalties. Didn't like his play too much that game. He hit the crossbar on one of them, but that's really the only positive that you could take, which we're not here to give round of applauses for hitting the net here. You missed the wide open net too. You pulled a Ryan Strome. And
Mhm.
in terms of the main thing, I mean, yeah, the odd man rushes is the main thing that went wrong last night. I don't think that's any secret. I don't think that I think that anyone could tell you that. Anyone that watches one game of hockey a year could tell you that that was the issue last night. So yeah, overall though, that's mainly what went wrong. Obvious. I'm trying to think of other things that did as well. I could say maybe the fact that they took too many penalties. I didn't like that either. But in terms of what I did like I said, the kid line and them drawing penalties, them creating offense and being this source of offense definitely was a bright spot. And I'm also a little bit, I'm in the middle about the power play too. I'm in the middle right now. I don't think Trocheck should be on power play one. I think that it's a mistake. Yeah, they potted one last night on the power play, but I still didn't like it when they threw Trocheck into the bumper. I think that it's kind of a waste of Trocheck's ability to be in front of the net. That's just my opinion. But now we'll get to Nick, who is the most critical of the team.
Well, I am, but I'm gonna keep it simple just for the sake of time. Besides the first game and um, the game against Jersey, the 2-1 win when we were, absolutely all over them right from the start. I think it was like 15 shots in the first period, and Blackwood kept them in the game. Besides those two those two games, I just feel like the play of the team for the most part has been like a bit mid, like nothing special, but nothing like terrible at the same time. It's just been kind of like flat overall. And I mean, there's some good things that you could pick out from the preseason, like the kid line or Zach Jones or maybe Panarin making a couple nice plays and whatnot. But um, like Nico said, it's preseason, so I mean, you don't want to overreact too much, but um, you just want to see nothing but the best for this team, and you just want to make sure that once opening night comes around, they're ready to go and they don't start out flat. They're, coming out of the gates hot and, really establishing themselves as a top team in the league. Like I said, right from the start. But based on the play that I've seen in preseason, I mean, I haven't been too big of a fan, like I said, except for the first game and the Jersey game. Other than that, I haven't really been entirely impressed with the team, but that's just my take. I mean, we'll see. It's only preseason. What really matters is the regular season and playoffs, obviously. But like Nico said, you don't want to overreact. Just preseason, and you know, see what happens in the regular season, though.
Which brings us to, what is the level of panic? If you guys were to put it 1 to 10 right now, what's the level?
Out
Who
of
wants to
10, you
start?
said.
Yeah.
Um,
If you guys don't have a number, I'll start because I think I have a
Go ahead.
fair. I'll say a solid 3 because I'm not impressed at all with the turnovers, like Nick said. And it's the problem that we saw last year. It's what killed them a good amount last year, and it's kind of what hurt them a bit in the playoffs last year at times. Way too many odd man rushes allowed, and that's also what was really killing them in the beginning of the season, especially when Miller was not playing, when he was playing and he looked like he belonged in Hartford, not even with the Rangers at that point. So I'm a little concerned on that front, concerned a little on the power play, and the last bit of concern, the right wing spot. There is way too big of a hole right now on that top line right wing, and I'm even worried a bit about Kravtsov too. So, and yeah, Nico smiling, of course, because he's like, yeah, I got the answer to that right wing spot. But uh, in terms of how you fix that now, not sure, but we'll get to that later. I think 3 is a fair spot because it's also the preseason. There's time to clean things up. Like I mentioned before, Gallant teams get off to a slow start regardless. So that's something that I could say is a not a positive, but it's something that you could take away and look at as a reason to not panic.
Yeah. I'm gonna say. I mean, I was gonna say 5, which is a bit critical, but I'm gonna say 4.5, just because of the play of the team and, like you said, Evan, just the right wing spot. There's a big hole right now, and you're just wondering
Say
who's
it.
gonna. What'd you say?
No, saying to Nico, don't say it.
Oh,
I'll keep
yeah.
my mouth shut.
Um, no, but yeah, I'd say 4.5. Like I said, because of the play of the team and the right wing spot. But yeah, you question who they're gonna put up, on the top line with Kreider and Zibanejad. Is the answer gonna be Laffy? Obviously not. Maybe because of the kid line, or maybe even Kako. Uh, but as of right now, it kind of looks like it may be one of the bottom 6 guys, like Sammy Blay, maybe, or Kravtsov or whatever. But we'll see if Kravtsov even makes the team. I mean, I don't know if he's done anything.
I mean, he has to at
Yeah,
this point because they can't send him back down. If he doesn't make the team, he goes on waivers. Somebody's going to claim him. So
yeah.
there better be a
So
trade in place if he's not making the team.
yeah, but yeah. I mean, I could say you don't want to overreact too much. 4.5, I'd say, just because like it can't be the same as last year, especially in the beginning, in like the first half where we really relied on Igor. Like, I think it's safe to say that it's time for us to help Igor out instead. and really play responsibly defensively and not make boneheaded mistakes in the offensive zone, like turning over the puck or even in the neutral zone for that matter. Just playing a clean game on both sides of the puck, just playing a good quality game overall, and just to make Igor's life a little easier. And um, we don't want to have that defensive stat where it's that we were like second best or third best, whatever, in the league on defense. When in reality, us Ranger fans truly know that really wasn't the case. We were just blessed to have a fantastic goalie in Shesterkin. And we just can't, like I said, Igor can only bail us out for so many games, and we just got to make it easier on him. And if we do so, then I think he would feel a lot better heading into the playoffs, just because maybe the pressure may not be on him as well, or for the most part may not be on him, because he has a team in front of him that he knows that he could trust. But yeah, I mean, we know for this season we got to improve the 5v5. There's no secret that we have to. If we could do that and just be just a solid defensive team. I'm not saying anything like spectacular, but just get the job done. That's all you gotta do, because we have the weapons up front to score. So as long as you get the job done and limit those odd man rushes and just limit some of those shots and force the play to the outside, to help out Shesterkin, I think this team will. Well, first of all, they'll be a better team overall, number one. And number two, I think I personally would be a lot more confident heading into the playoffs with the team, if we even make it, obviously, because if we come out flat and Shesterkin isn't Shesterkin from last season, then I don't know what kind of year we're going to have. But if we could just improve the offense and defense just a little bit, we have the talent. It's just up to the players if they really want to do it. And if so, then we'll be in good hands. But I think I can't rely on Shesterkin on having like another Vesna season. I mean, we could, but like not to like what he did like this past season. It was just a lot, and it's going to be very hard to duplicate what he did this past year.
Yeah, 100% going to be difficult. I mean, how do you replicate over a 930 save percentage again? But Nico, what is your level of panic?
I'll probably agree with you. I think three is a fair number, but I agree with like what you all had to say about the Shesterkin. It's going to be hard to replicate that. Having the season he just had, we've like never seen that before, where you have back-to-back elite seasons like that from a goalie. So, as Nick said, you have to help out Igor, because if you don't, and you fall flat on your face like the first 10, 15 games of the season, you can't really do that in this division. It's hard to play catch up in the NHL, especially with the talent in the Metro. So the Rangers got to come out flying. The defense, I have my concerns about. Still, the Trouba Miller pairing on the defensive end could be a little shaky. I think be with the defense, I guess. I mean, Jones and Schneider, I think, will be a very steady D pairing for us.
They were great
If Jones
last
indeed, yeah, if Jones indeed makes the team, which he should, and then Fox and Lindgren, we know the deal with them. They're going to be awesome. Hopefully, Fox can have a Norris like season once again. And then the offense, I'm not concerned about. Just a number one right winger spot. You don't want to be trotting out Sammy Blair, Barkley Goodrow out there with Kreider and Zibanejad. I'm sure a trade will come into place. I'm not necessarily going to say the name, maybe someone else, but I think you got it with the draft picks you've accumulated in the offseason. Halak, I think will be serviceable for Igor, playing like 20 something games, and not put so much pressure on Igor. Hopefully, give him some good rest and not have to just totally rely on him. Have a competent backup, and I just hope. I mean, I'm very happy with the kid line. They look good. Hopefully, they stay together. And we just need Kravtsov to improve with the Panarin Trocheck line, because we expect a lot out of that line, and we were talking about it all off season. Like Trocheck is going to go nuclear with these two, so hopefully it comes to fruition. But yeah, we'll see. But my panic level is about a 3 right now.
Yeah, that's completely fair. And Nick and I were looking last night at the list of right wingers at the deadline. Very thin list outside of Kane, unfortunately. You have Dadonov, Nyquist, and Pavelski. And two of those guys I'd say for sure are probably going to be on the move. That being Nyquist and Dadonov. Pavelski, I don't know what Dallas is, so I can't say really there. But that's the short list of guys that they could acquire as of right now, I think, at the deadline for that right wing spot, unfortunately. But yeah, you need production from Kravtsov. You need production from guys on an entry level contract. It's simple as that. And I think they're regretting right now sending Othman back to Flint. I think
I
they're
feel
regretting it.
I feel like he could have maybe been the answer for Kreider and Zibanejad on that first line, to be completely honest.
He should have got more looks in preseason with them, but let's get to some comments. Kravtsov is a disappointment. He should be sent to the middle line and just put Kako or Laffy, bring them up to the second line. Or bring the kid line up to the second line. Yeah, I mean, they could get weird. They could get weird with the line combinations. We'll get to that later because we're gonna have a discussion about that. But yeah, Krasov has been a disappointment for sure. Fox and Lindgren sitting out last night's game made a huge difference and probably cost us the game, but it's only preseason. Agree there. I think that made an impact because Hayek and Protowski were awful. They were absolutely abysmal. Halak is my only concern so far. I'm not concerned with Halak personally. I don't know if you guys are, but it's going to happen with goaltending, especially your backup goalie. You're not going to get top tier production from your backup goalie as long as he's more consistent than Georgiev was. Then we're fine.
And Halak is just going to be matched up against mid teams throughout the league when just to give Igor a break. So I don't have any concern. I think Halak is still a solid backup. I think he should be better than Georgiev. You have that. He's an older goaltender with some experience, but the other thing is he's not like Georgiev complaining about the fact that he's a backup. Like he understands his role, and as long as he understands that, and he could just do his job, so we can ask for.
Yeah, I mean, if you signed here with us, you better be under the assumption that you're the backup because
no way
Igor just won the Vezina. So
yeah,
I'm not overall concerned. Like Nick said, he's going to play teams like New Jersey, like Chicago, Arizona, the Islanders. Had to throw a shot in there. And Halak was fine. He could play 20 to 25 games and go 60-40. We are going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't know if they're going to play him 25. I think 20 is the reasonable spot.
Yeah.
I think that's the reasonable.
I agree. Yeah.
As long as he's average, I'm okay with that. Yeah, agree with that. Only thing that could worry me in preseason is injury. I think there's levels of concern, though, with the play. There's definitely some things that need to be cleaned up.
I think the overall offense and defense they need to sharpen up.
Agreed. Completely agreed. The kid line won't make it all season. Laffy's destined to be on the right wing on that Kreider line. Yeah, it's the unfortunate reality probably until the deadline.
Yeah.
Still want to give Kravtsov a minute to get going because it could take some time to get adjusted to the surface over here. I'm not going to bash him yet. Fair point, but at the same time, I mean, how many more excuses are we going to come up with for him? I mean, he's had multiple camps over in North America.
Remember, he was a 2018 draft pick, so
that too. And he sulked when he got demoted last year. How are we going to how many more excuses are we going to make until he actually gets going here? And Othman had to go, sadly, but he should be playing some center in Flint. Agree there, but I think they should have gave him the 9 games. I think you got to give him the 9 games, see what you got there. And worst comes to worst, he wasn't good enough. All right, you send him back to Flint. If he was doing great, then you have your answer at the right wing spot. I don't see the logic in letting him go back. Did they not want to waive Dryden Hunt or Ryan Carpenter or Gustav Riedel, whoever? I think that's ridiculous.
Maybe they think that they'll get someone to improve the top 6 maybe around the deadline, and that's why.
Unless Othman is kind of the trade deadline acquisition, because when the OHL season's over, where's Kravtsov? Hustle, bigger ice or not? He seemed. Yeah, I agree. He hasn't. He hasn't looked. He's looked slow out there. Cap savings. I don't know about that. I mean, cap savings for an OHL, for an entry level contract. I'm not sure, but outside of Kravtsov, who do you guys think has been the most disappointing so far?
Damn.
And I had to do outside of Kravtsov because that's the obvious pick.
Yeah.
This is a tough one. I agree here, but I will.
I think I know what your pick will be, Evan. Yeah, take the guess.
Who is it?
I'm on the fence here with I
Or
think two guys.
I think Ryan Carpenter is one of them.
Ryan Carpenter's one of them.
Yeah.
He's definitely one of them.
That would be my
At
pick.
the same time, we haven't gotten a good enough look, which is why
Yeah.
I'm leaning more towards a guy who is a regular in the lineup, that being Jacob Trouba. Because when are we going to see the $8 million defenseman that we signed? And Zach Jones is about to dethrone his spot on power play number 2 here.
Yeah.
What are you making $8 million for? If you're not on the power play, what are you making $8 million for?
Yeah. Just
If
to
you're
see
going
wife.
to turn the puck over, what are you making $8 million for?
Yeah. Just to go around and say his wife is a doctor in New York City. That's why.
I mean, this guy got the C on his chest, and we expect big things from our $8 million defenseman finally. And again, in the preseason, it looks like the same old Jacob Trouba. Hopefully, we're all wrong and look like idiots when he does good in the regular season, but I don't know at this point with him.
I think we'll look like geniuses.
Slow down. If he
Probably.
Yeah, we'll look like complete. We're gonna look like geniuses. I mean, the guy can't skate. It's as simple as that. And I think what contributes to his, crappy play is just because he has no feet. He has no skates. Like, he just can't move. Like, I don't know. There's no other way to say it. And he's just like, I just don't like him as a player. I mean, I just don't, especially paying him $8 million.
Yeah, that hurts.
I mean, the fact, and like we said, Jones is about to take him on power play number 2, and this guy was supposed to quarterback our our number 1 power play until Fox
and the
came
ink
in.
didn't dry on the contract by the time he lost the job there.
Yeah, I mean,
he lost at the D'Angelo within weeks.
I'm telling you, like, this man is literally gonna be like Wade Redden 2.0. Like, I'm serious. I'm telling you, we're gonna actually demote him to Hartford just to save some cap, if that's even possible or whatever. Like, it's bad.
Yeah. I mean,
he honestly shouldn't even be playing. I don't know if this is true or not. I personally think I don't know if he should be playing in the NHL. I question myself. I question myself. I'm like, is this guy should he really be on an NHL team right now?
Third pair.
Fuck.
Third pair.
At most.
But
he's gonna
I
be
don't
the
want
reason.
to see, because it's looking like this defensive pair, Miller and Trouba, is going to be the matchup pair for top lines. No, you have a guy that won the Norris. Hello, Ryan Lindgren is far and away better too than Jacob Trouba. I mean, Trouba is making $8 million to be the 4th best defenseman, might even be the 5th after the season. There's a chance 6.
There
if
is.
Zach Jones somehow tears it up,
he will. He's gonna tear it up.
Some sort of Calder, not necessarily win the thing, but get in the conversation.
Yeah, he will. Jonesy's a beast. I've been saying this for a while. He's a stud. He's gonna. Yeah, Trouba's literally gonna be on the bottom of the depth chart for defenseman, and he's gonna be besides Fox, he's gonna be the second highest paid player, or the highest paid player, because I said besides Fox. But dude, it's bad. We have to look to get rid of him somehow. I mean, dude, if that means just a 7th rounder, fine. We have to get rid of him.
We might have to throw in a first with him.
Yeah, that's what I told Evan. I'm like, bro, we may low key actually have to trade Trouba a first and maybe even a 2nd just to get the job done. Because no one's taking on that contract. Unless if we actually give him draft picks. If we send him to a rebuilding team with draft picks, I think they'll take him. Detroit by then might not be rebuilding, but let's say a Detroit from maybe a year or 2 ago, a team like that, maybe whoever's in that situation whenever his no trade clause expires, they'll definitely be willing to take a deal like that because they have nothing to lose. So, but it's possible, but just It won't happen right now, but it'll happen soon, hopefully. But
Yeah. I'm
And
scared they're gonna have to trade Lindgren or Barclay Goodrow because
or
of this.
both.
Yeah, we've talked
Yeah,
I
about
think
it.
you have to
and
do anything and everything to trade Truba because not obviously they'll open up cap, but you'll just make up whatever you sold just at in free agency. Just use that money on someone that's actually worth paying instead of paying another Truba. But that's what I
yeah,
think.
Gallant loves physical guys, but there has to be a point where Drury steps in again and says, "No, Gallant, put the toy back in the toy bin. You can't be using this guy. He can't skate. He can't."
Yeah, you
And
can't.
it's an issue, and he's basically I mean, would you say a right-handed and slightly better version of Nemeth, just because at least he puts up points every now and then?
Yeah, I think
I
that's
think that's
kind of.
fair.
I think that's fair to
Exactly.
say. Slightly better. Yeah, that's fair.
And to this, but what if Drury had no say in naming Truba captain? If Drury didn't have a say in naming Truba captain,
I don't think
Drury's
he
Yeah.
not going to have any
honestly.
feelings, and
Yeah,
he could move him.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, I don't. I mean, personally, I don't think Drury wanted Truba to be captain. I think he just kind of just did what the team wanted, what their best. Just like okay, you guys. He told Turk and he told the players, up to you. I'm not coaching. Whatever makes you guys happy. Um, I Gallant said that it was pretty clear that Jacob Truba was the captain when I was listening to the TNT um, you know, broadcast people during the game when they were talking. That's what apparently Gallant said. But I personally didn't want to believe that, but yeah, no, I don't. I get it that he likes physical players, the old school coach like that, because back then it was a very physical era. That's cool, but like Truba makes costly turnovers. I mean, I can name a few games that
I'm not saying though he's going to get benched. I'm saying that
no, he won't get
there's gonna be a
benched.
time where somebody's going to have to tell Gallant, you cannot be having him as the matchup
Yeah,
defenseman. You can't.
Mhm.
He's not able to keep up with these guys. He's not, and I think he would be a fine second pair, but even better third pair defenseman. But as of right now, I just don't think that. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna get benched, but I don't think he should be the matchup pair. I don't. We
yeah.
all know what really happened. Cried as a badge at a fight. You should be captain. No, you should be captain. It developed into a tickle fight. Truba broke it up and said, and they said you should be the captain. Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
much wouldn't
probably.
shock me. And
Mhm.
going back to Chuba for a second, people can look at us. People that don't watch Ranger games or Jacob Chuba or Ranger games, whatever, you know, they'll look at his stats and be like, "Oh, he's not a bad player. He's like 35 points plus 20 player or whatever he is." But if you watched his games, the way he plays, he really that those stats are so misleading. It's unbelievable. He's just not a good player. I mean, personally, I think the eye test is the most accurate test you can get.
Mhm.
Just by analytics is cool and all, but I think whatever you see in analytics, it only contributes very little to the hockey game, whatever stat you're looking at. I think if you look at the general, stats and not even that, just watch how each player plays. You just watch, Truba just turning over the puck and just his skating ability isn't great. And I think those stats are a bit misleading, and I don't think he's really a plus 20 player. I think he should be much lower, but um, I guess that's what happens when you have a good goaltender.
Um, yeah, we didn't want to mention Kravtsov because we've already been we're beating a dead horse at that point.
Yeah.
But Goche, I mean, I'm 50-50 on him. It's just the guy can't finish his chances. He's looked good. It's just he can't finish his chances.
Yeah. I was gonna say I love his skating ability. He's very explosive, knows how to put his
Draws
shoulder down.
penalties.
Yeah, knows how to put his shoulder down when, crashing the net, like kind of like Kreider. Um, but I mean, man, if he's able to finish and bury that puck, I think he'd be such an effective player in this league. He has potential. We just got to figure out, as a team or from the coaches, how to unlock that. And I think once they do, he'll be a big time player for us because he's very good skater. He
I don't
like
think
I
it's
say,
gonna be for us. I think he gets moved still.
yeah. But whoever it
Yeah.
is, if they can unlock whatever is
Missing.
missing, I think he's going to be a very, very good player. I mean, skating ability is there. He's big, strong guy. Kind of is like Kreider, except just can't finish. And I think once he's able to, he's going to be a very good player in this league. And I just hope it's with us. But if not, then
I
best of
think they
luck to
should,
him.
if they're moving for a 7th defenseman, please,
Yeah.
please. I
Yeah.
don't want to see Lieber Hayek play. I don't.
Yeah. No,
But
Hayek is terrible too.
well, we have a couple more questions. Bill is going to join soon. This will be our last question, then we'll finish them up after Bill ends up leaving. But who continues to impress you guys? Or is there anyone that has jumped out at you lately? I have a couple guys in mind, but I want to hear your answers first. Unless you're still trying to think.
Um,
All right, I'll
I
go
think.
first.
Okay,
Yeah.
go first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go.
Gustav Riedel, I will
Mm-hmm.
say he has been very impressive. I think he's won over the 4th line spot over guys like Carpenter, over a guy like Reeves, over guys like Hunt. I think Gustav Riedel needs to be in the opening night lineup. I would say outside of the poor pass that he made, Keandre Miller continues to impress me.
Mhm.
Jimmy Vesey's been very solid. I'm still impressed with him. I'm trying to think of anyone else like over the past few days that's really jumped out at me. Jones obviously continues to impress me, but I'm really trying to think like outside the box here of a guy that I haven't mentioned before because it's pretty much the same guys for the most part as of right now.
And as you say that, Riedel got assigned to Wolfpack. I don't know if we
He did?
saw that. Yeah, 20 minutes ago from Rangers Twitter. Sadly,
Come on.
yeah,
That's
he looked
ridiculous.
good. He did look good. I thought he had a chance at snagging a spot in the bottom 6, but hopefully the time maybe comes soon. But yeah, not now.
That's annoying.
I'll only say Zach Jones has been really impressing me. I've always been a Zach Jones fan, but right now I think he's personally the most impressive player for me, and right now in this preseason, and I guess BC is pretty good as well. He's been doing well. I think he should make the team. I don't see why not. But other than that, I think everyone's just been either like just I don't know. I mean, Panarin will just have his time with just being Panarin, Zibanejad, making some nice plays. They do them, and but other than that, no one has been really like it's just everyone's just been like whatever to me. To be honest with you, but yeah, no, I like Zach Jones a lot. He's been impressing me this whole preseason.
I agree. I think the top three are definitely no order. Jimmy Vesey, Zach Jones, and Keandre Miller. I think definitely have looked like the best, and then the kid line I think has been really impressive
The fact that
too.
they are showing that they're building off of what they did in the playoffs. That is a huge step forward, and that's something that I'm happy about. For the most part, yeah, most of the guys look the same, but that's not a problem considering the fact that Chris Kreider scored 50 goals last year. Mika Zibanejad was a point per game player last year. Artemi Panarin, I would like him to be a bit better defensively. Trocheck, I want to see a bit more of him too. But outside of that, I mean, yeah, for the most part, it's been pretty similar. Gauthier skates like the wind, closes time and space when rushing the net, but hands of stone, he shoots into the goalie's chest. Yeah, and he does the same move all the time too.
Yeah.
But
So,
hey,
once he
it
does-
works. I don't know how it works, dude. It works every
It
single
doesn't because
time.
he doesn't score.
It doesn't matter. It's the fact that he could get into the slot and get a scoring chance. It works. He
But
just
he's
if
got to
he get
score. He's got to
yeah,
score.
but that's the point is that the fact that he could still get by defenders doing the same exact move is just funny to me.
But it's the
So
same shot, and he
all right,
sometimes he'll draw a
but if he
penalty, which
can
is good though.
if he can get that, if he could bury that, I'm telling you, he'd be sick. But it works for the most part.
I agree with this, Alyssa. VC has impressed. Agree with that. After watching VC on the Devils last season, I had low expectations, but he's really impressed wherever he's played. Yeah, completely agree. I think he looked solid on the first line. And, the next question we had lined up was, should the line combinations from last night be what they are? But I just saw a tweet of what the line combinations look like in practice, and I'm confused. So as of right now, the lines in practice are Kreider, Zibanejad, Kako, Panarin, Trocheck, VC, Laff, Hedel, Goudreau, Blay, Carpenter, Reeves. And the extras are Hunt, Brzezinski, Kravtsov, Gauthier.
Wow. That's insane to me. Kravtsov's in the healthy scratches right now. VZ. I mean, it was inevitable. VZ playing with Panarin and Trocheck, that was envisioned all of the offseason, but he's actually looked good, so I wouldn't even mind it. Kako with Zibanejad and Kreids is interesting as well. I'd like to see Laugh there instead, but I don't mind Kako. And then Laugh, Hedel, and Goodrow.
I was saying to Nick yesterday, what if they get creative with the lines? What if you go with a line combination? You go Panarin, Zibanejad, Kreider on your first line. You keep the kid line together as your second line. You put Goudreau and Kravtsov with Trocheck. And then your fourth line, you have some sort of combination with Blay, Reeves, Carpenter, whoever else you want to throw on there. You get some sort of combination going down there. I feel like just because of how big of a problem it is on the right wing spot, I feel like you might have to get creative like that. And you might just have to go top heavy and then just have your bottom six be pure shut down hockey.
I was gonna say, like, is there a chance that we could see them on the first line?
The kid line?
Yeah.
They might.
Imagine.
They might. Great. I mean, I'd be content with it for a bit. Like, what do they have to lose at this point? They've been the most productive line. So, they don't have much to lose. And I was really wondering if Pidto, this was going to be his last season. If he continues to build on what he's doing thus far in the preseason, if he carries this over from the playoffs into the regular season, everything he's done, yeah, that contract is going to be a bit pricey. And Barclay Goudreau and Ryan Lindgren are most definitely out the door.
Yeah, you use
Hedel. Salary cap.
You use Hedel to trade for Patrick Kane, right, Nico?
Yeah, that would be a great idea, honestly.
No, absolutely not. He doesn't pick his spot when shooting. He can't shoot through a wall. Yeah, that's the main problem with Gauthier. Hunt needs to go as long. Yeah, no. Don't get me started on Hunt. Yeah, he needs to go. He is not effective. He could skate. Congratulations. That's really about it.
The guy just knows how to wheel bunnies into games. That's all it is.
I mean, that's about it.
Yeah. Other than that, no. He's got to go.
Yeah. He's not impressive at all. But Bill should be joining us in a minute here. So we'll finish up the other questions later. But with the line combinations, to go back to that for a minute. Oh, Bill is here.
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's going on?
How are you doing?
How are you, bud?
You guys hear me all right?
Yep.
We hear you great. All right.
So what are you guys, in college or what?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, all three of us.
We all are.
Yeah.
Where do you guys go?
I go to St. John's.
I guess I go to SUNY Old Westbury.
I'm not going to say on stream. There are some weird people, if I'm being honest, out there on the internet. I'm not going to say where I go, but yeah, how are you doing today, Bill?
I'm good. Good. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for
no
coming
problem.
on. We really do appreciate it.
Sure.
But we'll start asking you some questions here, just because we want to get to know you a bit more. So I wanted to know, how much of an adjustment is it for you from covering the Rangers to the Knicks?
Can you guys hear me? You froze.
Oh.
Oh, connection issues.
Yeah.
It Bill froze.
Not now. No way.
It always happens.
Oh boy.
Wow, that's tough. On.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, he's on mute.
Yeah, he's good.
Can you hear us, Bill? I
We
think
can't
you're on
hear
mute.
you.
Yeah, we can't hear you. Check if you're on mute.
He's not on mute.
He's not.
Let me try doing this. Oh, there we go. He's gonna
He'll
have to leave
join
and join
back.
back. Of course, we have internet issues. It happens.
That's
Damn.
tough.
It always has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Tough luck.
How's that?
Right. There we go.
There
Perfect.
we go.
You guys froze up on me. Is that you or me?
You froze up on us.
Well, hopefully we
we're
got
good
it.
now.
You guys just froze, so I left and came back.
Yeah. All right. We can hear you now. I think it's good now. But yeah, we'll start asking you some questions, and because we want to get to know you more. The first thing that I wanted to ask is, how much of an adjustment is it for you from covering the Rangers to the Knicks?
You know, I'm really into both. You know, I follow both very closely. Obviously, I host the Knicks, so a lot of the things that I have to be aware of, maybe in more detail than when I just do the 150 on the Rangers, because I don't host the Rangers. I used to host Rangers and Knicks road games. Now I'm just a host of the Knicks and the 150 on the Knicks and the Rangers. So it's not hard at all, especially as we gear up here and you start following storylines and that kind of thing. It's not difficult at all.
Yeah, which we love the MSG 150, especially when you pull Twitter comments. Thank you for pulling a couple of mine.
You guys have any good lingo for me this year or what?
100%.
That's not going to get me in trouble now.
No. We'll get some lingo. We'll have to get back to you by the end of the show with that.
Okay.
I'll think. But Nick, why don't you go?
Oh no. What are your thoughts about the Rangers and Knicks this upcoming season? I mean,
well, I don't know about you guys, but the Rangers have Gerard Gallant's got a big decision to make here with these lines because you got the kid line, but then who's the wing with Zibanejad and Kreider, and who's the wing with Trocheck and Panarin? I think that I just looked at the line for practice, and he's got Vesey on the second line, and he took Kakko off the third line and put him on the top line. Now, it's just practice. It's still preseason. But I think this is a huge storyline about how this lineup is going to set. They really missed Vetrano and Kopp because those two guys were really good placeholders on those top two lines. That being said, I think they'll have an excellent season. They got the best goalie in the league. They got a great decor. I'm also optimistic about the Knicks. I think, Vegas at 39 and a half or whatever it is for the win total is too low. I think they're going to be in the 40s. I think they have a really good second unit. I think Brunson's going to really help. To me, the thing that I'm going to watch is how difficult or easy it is for them to get their shots off, specifically Randall and Barrett. And I know it's only one preseason game, but they all played really well against Detroit the other night.
Yeah, the line combinations we were just talking about before. So, we're just as interested as you because I honestly have no idea what they're going to be. But, Nick, what were you saying? Sorry to cut you off.
No, I was going to ask Bill, do you think the Knicks will make the playoffs this year?
I think they're a good bet for 9-10. And after that, who knows? Fingers crossed on 9-10.
How do you like Thibodeau as the coach? I just want to get your opinion on that.
I think he's a great coach.
Okay.
Because they're always prepared. They always play hard. Everybody talking about minute distribution or whatever. Let's Obi and Quickly were really good at the end of last year, but remember they're playing with the team out of the playoff mix against teams that had nothing to play for.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see Obi play 30, 35 minutes. I just don't see it. I don't see it myself. I don't see it at this point. Obviously, the Knicks want Randall to shoot the ball better. The big problem for him last year, in my opinion, was his struggles from three-point land, whereas during the COVID year, he was fantastic. I think Tibbs has him well prepared. And you know what? Even when they were out of it last year, the big indicator for me, they played their butts off. They always play hard.
I feel like even like the games that they lost, if you look at the games that they lost, for the most part, they were like really close games. Like the record may not like show like they were like in it, but like I feel like they were in it for the most part. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, late game execution is the number
Yeah.
one thing that I think Brunson can help.
Yeah.
Remember Derrick Rose when he was healthy 2 years ago? They went 24-11 when he played. He'll help down the stretch. I think they're going to be a lot better when these games are decided late in the fourth quarter.
And I feel like Thibodeau needs to maybe have the team just like lock down those late leads, because especially from like when we made the playoffs in 21, I just feel like we would have a lead late and then it would just kind of get out of hand a little bit. I mean, would you agree with that as well, or?
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with Derrick Rose not being around last year.
Yeah, okay.
That was a huge, underrated problem that the Knicks had during the stretch of these games was no Derrick Rose. Now you have Rose and Brunson. Hopefully they'll be able to execute better when the games are on the line.
Yeah, point guard was definitely a huge issue last year for the Knicks. But Nico, why don't you go?
Yeah, my first question for Bill is, when did you start working for MSG Networks?
09-10 season. I was at ESPN from 93 to 08. And then I've been at MSG since the 09-10 season. So this, believe it or not, it has gone so quick. 14th season with the MSG Network. It's unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
Quick. Yeah.
Damn.
How old are you guys? Like you were like 4 years old, you guys, when I started, right?
Yeah, I want to say 7.
Yeah.
09-10. Yeah, I was in second grade.
That's crazy.
You guys been watching ever since you were in second grade?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
As far as we can remember.
Our whole life.
Yeah, pretty much.
Are you guys more Rangers or Knicks?
We're more Rangers.
I'm Rangers, but I get pissed off with the Knicks a lot, so that's why I had to ask you some of those questions. Yeah.
But mostly Rangers. But my next question that I wanted to ask is something that intrigues me. Were you one that grew up playing any sports at all, or were you mostly always focused on the media side of things because you enjoyed watching sports for the most part?
Well, I always loved watching sports, but I was an athlete pretty much through high school. I played, despite my small size, I actually was a point guard on the varsity basketball team.
Oh, wow.
My junior year, Jim Harbaugh was on our team in California, believe it or not. I'm originally from Manhattan. We moved west when I was 7, and I got really involved in played a lot of soccer, ran track, and basketball.
Oh, wow.
Very cool.
You said you played that in college or
no?
High school.
High school.
Oh, high school.
And I would say I peaked in 10th grade. I don't know how you guys are. But I was really good up until 10th grade, and then I kind of just hung on,
Were you ever trying to like play in college or?
No, hell no. I was not. Not close.
I mean, that's good that you found your spot though on the media side of things, because you do a great job with that.
Yeah, no, definitely. What college did you attend, and like what did you study? Like how did you get into like what you are in now?
So I went to Cornell. Even though as I mentioned, I'm originally from Manhattan. We moved west. My dad went to Cornell, so that was one of the ties there. Anybody, you guys, if you want to pursue this, anybody who's watching or listening, I think it's obviously important to get a degree, but you really need the practical experience. Like what you guys are doing now is great practice. This is a business where they're going to look at your tape. They're going to look at your reel. How do you look? How do you sound? And when you try to get a job into the job market, you have to have something that's representative of your work. I was really lucky at Cornell to get on the student radio station. And the town of Ithaca, actually, when I was there, started a local newscast. So I was a sportscaster on a local newscast. They used college kids. Carl Ravitch and I were actually the first sportscasters on this Ithaca channel back in like 1986. So the point is, I came out of Cornell with a TV reel, and I was able to get my first job in Binghamton, New York, which is about an hour from Ithaca.
Wow. Nice. And what was I going to say? So after college, so you said right after college you went right to ESPN. Like, how did that like all?
No, I was in Binghamton at $6 an hour for my first job.
Okay.
My rent was $120 a month.
Oh wow.
I was a one-man band, like shooting all the high school stuff, getting back, scrambling to cut all the highlights. Okay. I went to Syracuse as a weekend job, weekend anchor at the NBC affiliate in the late 80s. I went to what was called the Sports News Network, which was 24-hour sports news, a little bit ahead of its time. We folded in 10 months, but it became kind of like the blueprint for all these 24-hour sports networks.
Mm.
One of the guys who ran that hired me then in Boston. I was a sportscaster at New England Cable News, the regional news channel. And then in 93, I auditioned at ESPN. So
Nice.
28, I auditioned against Carl Ravitch. He was also in the audition pool, and they hired him at the time.
Mm.
Then they hired me for ESPN2 in August of 93. So I was 28 at the time.
Wow.
Awesome. Yeah, for my next question I said, what are your thoughts on the Rangers playoff run the past season? What did you think of it as a whole?
Man, it was fantastic. And you know what? The things that are often the best are the things that are least expected. I don't think anybody saw that coming.
No.
Yep.
Expectations will be higher this year, obviously, but it was fantastic. It was, you had the young guys playing really well. Hito Lafreniere in particular. The D core is fantastic. Top 4D, and even with Schneider coming along, it looks like Zach Jones is going to be good there on the third pair, and the goalie is elite. So, look, if you have a goalie like that, how incredible is it for this franchise to go from Lundqvist to Shesterkin? I mean, it's unbelievable.
Before that,
yeah, Richter too.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that helps. Crazy. I think they're going to be in the mix. I think last year was a surprise. This year won't be a surprise, but I think they're going to be right there.
I mean, even then, there's some people discounting this team still going into the year and going into just like last year. There's a lot of people discounting. I mean, Money Puck has the Devils being a better team in the regular season, which I don't agree with at all, but it's interesting.
I mean, Money Puck also just goes based on obviously we had 5v5 struggles, and it just goes based on that and our defensive struggles at times too, but not the second half. The second half, I thought we were a lot better, but everyone will say, we were a product of, Shesterkin, keeping us in games. I mean,
so what's wrong with that?
There's not, I mean, he's on our team. I'm not going to complain, right? But
that's your brand.
But I mean, you talk to other fans, that'll be their argument. But I mean, hopefully, I think we'll clean up our game this year. I think hopefully that we'll score more. We'll actually, defend and a lot better, and just to help Shesterkin out a little bit more. Just so when playoff time comes, I think the team will, feel a little bit more confident heading in than last year. I mean, aside from the experience, I think they'll be, confident, already, but because of that. But I think if we could just help Shesterkin out and a little bit more, I think, this team could definitely go all the way. But if we make the right moves at the deadline as well, obviously.
Well, they should have some cap space too. And I tell you, Drury did a phenomenal job last year at the deadline.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I will ask this. For or against Patrick Kane to the New York Rangers?
It depends on what you're going to have to give up.
Agreed.
What are you guys willing to give up?
To me, it's tough. I mean, Kravtsov's been struggling, but I don't know how much of a asset really he is anymore. So that's going to be, it's not like he's a headline prospect anymore, but I'd throw him in the deal because there's still maybe something there for him to work out in Chicago. You definitely throw in one of those first, since you got for Niels Lundqvist, the first round pick. You could throw one of them in. In terms of other prospects, I mean, Robertson can maybe be an intriguing defenseman for Chicago as well. It just
is Kane's deal up, fellas? Is he up?
Yeah, he's up after this year.
I don't think there's no way they can afford him.
$10 million. Well, I heard they'll Chicago will retain some salary, so it'll become
no, they can afford him for this year, but not next year.
Yeah, that's where
you can't give up that much. That's why.
Yeah, that's where I'm I don't want them to give up anyone from the kid line, but it feels like a deal wouldn't happen unless they gave up one of those guys.
I don't know if I'm doing that, depending on how they play, given the fact you're not going to be able to keep Kane after this year. There's no way.
Completely agree.
And I spoke about it on past episodes. I feel acquiring Patrick Kane is almost like what we did with Rick Nash back in the summer of 2012. We kind of gave up some depth guys like Anisimov and Dubinsky just to get that, just that star to improve the top six, along with Gabrick and Richards and Callahan. But
you can't quibble with what that resulted with the team. I mean, they were a perennial playoff team. They made three conference finals.
2012. Yeah, we made the conference final in 12, but I feel like, I mean, personally, I'd rather have, depth throughout the lineup and, maybe just that one star instead of, adding in like 2 or 3 stars on like top
It'd
six.
be so
Just
top
and
heavy.
yeah, exactly. I mean, personally, I like to have like a more well-rounded lineup from the top and bottom six. But I mean, some people may disagree with me on that. But I mean, it's just funny because then literally like later that year we traded
You guys there?
Oh, you
Yeah.
can hear us?
No, it froze again.
Boys?
Oh,
Hello?
you there? Hello?
There we
Good.
Hello?
You hear us?
We could hear you.
We can hear.
go.
Oh, nah.
Dang.
Nah.
Connection keeps being an
Yeah,
issue here.
it lasted there a good
Where
amount.
do you say he was from? California? Upstate or? I don't know.
Boys.
Maybe that's.
All right, there we go.
Hear us now?
If a call comes in, someone just try to call me. Does that mess this whole thing up? I think that's
Yeah, it
Oh,
could,
yeah.
right? It probably
The
could.
comments are people stop commenting.
what happened.
You said the comments are what's causing us. It could be.
No, the phone
No,
call.
my
No,
phone.
it's a phone call.
Phone
Yeah.
call. Oh, got it. All right, people comment. But
Yeah.
Are there comments on this thing?
yeah,
Yeah,
there are
a lot
comments. So
on
people in
YouTube.
chat, if you have any
Yeah.
questions for Bill, send them in. We're
Yes.
gonna ask after we ask
For sure.
these questions. But the next thing that I wanted to ask, I know that you don't host the Rangers too much, but when you do, is there anything that you've gained knowledge-wise just from working with guys like Steve Valiquette and Henrik Lundqvist?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
Oh. That's tough.
I had to finish what I was saying, Evan, but I'll let you go. I'll let you
sorry.
ask that. No, you're good. You're good.
all right. Steve Valiquette breaks, to me, I don't know how you guys feel. He breaks the game down like no one else in terms of
Yeah.
he gives you reasons for why things happen.
Mm-hmm.
There are very few
Awesome.
analysts. I've been at this a long time. I've worked in a zillion hockey studios on a zillion different places. A lot of these analysts don't talk about the specifics about why things happen. It's very general most of the time. A lot of cliches. Move your feet. It was an honest play. Got to make the get pucks to the net. Valiquette to me breaks it down, and Henrik is such a great teammate. He's great to have around. He's fun to tweak. Like I bust his chops on the 150 all the time. It's just freaking great, and he's a great sport.
Do that.
It's a great sport. So yeah, and John Gianone's a great host. I think they have a great show.
Yeah, absolutely. Love what you guys do there, and yeah, I love when you guys are getting on Hank a bit when Valley did. When he was teasing him about this might be the best goalie performance we've ever seen with Igor when he said that was great.
Interesting, yeah.
Sure.
You have any? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Nico. Sorry.
No, you can go on with what you were saying
It's just
before. I
so
know you didn't
quick.
finish.
Any like funny stories you could tell us like that happened at MSC Networks, like behind the scenes, whether it was with the Knicks or Rangers? That you can think of off the top of your head, or
Like what kind of X-rated
I don't
stuff?
know, I mean, jokes or something,
I
whatever.
don't know. We bust chops.
It's just
big time watching the Knicks. We all watch together. Mihan and Wally and Monica when she's in there. We just. I mean, we are huge fans. Okay, so if you were to watch us watch, you'd be like, oh my. I mean, that's what's so great about this job. Rangers too. We are into the teams.
Yeah.
When I was at ESPN all those years, you're like on an island. It's you're a national scope. This here, we know that the people that are watching are dying for what we're talking about, and we ourselves are dying with every game. So that's what makes it so much fun.
I think that's great. I mean, especially when you talk about the Rangers and Knicks, viewers will just see like the passion you guys have while talking, and like I think it gives you a lot more to say just because, like you said, you want those teams to do so well. But I think personally, that's a lot better than having someone else just coming in and, that may not like either of the teams, that could really care less for them maybe and just be like, oh, yeah, whatever. I don't know.
Right.
That's just me, though.
Well, I hope it comes through. I mean, we love these teams.
Yeah, no, definitely.
We definitely see it come through. We love the passion and we love the energy that you guys bring.
Yeah, it's great. Sure.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead with my other question. I said, what was it like working on the NHL Network panel the past summer? We saw you there, and was it tough maybe at times to hold back the Rangers bias maybe that you have a little bit from the MSG networks, of course?
So the guy that is in charge of NHL Network, I know Josh Bernstein from my days at ESPN. He actually was before you guys were even on this earth. I hosted the NHL Tonight on ESPN2 in the middle '90s, and Josh Bernstein, who now oversees the NHL Network, worked on that show. They had some opportunity to fill in over the summer, and one of the great things about MSG is that they allow you to work at other places as long as it doesn't interfere with your work at MSG. So I was able to fill in there. And, one of the things there is that those guys are experts on every team. And I'm an expert on the Rangers. So to be honest with you, when it was the Rangers in the playoffs, it was a little bit easier for me to navigate because some of these other deals with these other teams, I had to get up to speed on because I hadn't watched them all year. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah.
So
it's
when you get
definitely a
into
tough
that
adjustment.
national deal and you've been around the Rangers all year, it's a lot easier to talk about them sometimes than the other teams.
Right.
Yeah, 100% could see that being a tough adjustment. But I wanted to get into kind of the lighter questions here. So I'm going to give you this one. If you could have one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
New York slice of New York pizza.
Oh,
Valid
this guy
answer.
really doesn't like pizza.
I
Oh
don't
my
like
God!
pizza, but
With the grease dripping off the cheese,
Ugh,
that's
doesn't
my
like it.
favorite. And you know what I love? I don't know if you guys where do you guys live? You guys in the city at all?
No.
no, we go to the
Queens.
city, though, quite often.
Little Italy is an underrated chain. They have the best slices at Little Italy Pizza. They're all around.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
love it. So
Yeah.
anyway, slice of New York pizza, cheese, pepperoni, whatever. That's what I absolutely love it.
Completely fair answer. And yes, Nico calling me out for not liking pizza. No one in chat get on me, but yeah. Nick.
All right. Yeah, Nick, go ahead.
Oh, I don't know. Well, from your time, I mean, it's not really a light question. I mean, I don't have a light question like what Evan said, but no, from your time covering like the Rangers or whatever, yeah. What was your favorite team? Like maybe not to cover, but just like the best team that maybe you've ever covered, if that makes any
Well,
sense.
the 2012 team that made the conference final, that was a torch special.
Yes, I
That
agree.
was like out of nowhere, and like,
Yes.
oh my God, these guys are just
I agree.
giving up
Made
their
Nick's
heart,
day.
their
I
soul.
agree.
That was like, oh my goodness, how did this team get to
Mm.
where they got? They should have won that series too, potentially. But
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Bill? Do you think they should have won the cup? Do you think they had a chance to win the cup?
in 2012,
Like, do you think they could have won the cup?
I
being
just don't
LA?
know that the Devils were that great that year.
No, but I'm saying like if the Devils, I mean, we know the Devils weren't like
great.
that great.
They would have beat LA though.
Yeah. Do
you think they
the
would have
Rangers-
beat LA that year?
Mm-hmm.
I don't. We didn't. The Rangers were just so gritty. They didn't have enough offense that year.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's 2012, man. Like Gabrick, Richards, Callahan, like that team's good,
That was
man. I don't
cool.
know. I think could have given LA a run for their money. I don't know. I know we
Well,
had our scoring troubles, but
It'd been good.
still,
and the 2014 team with look, heck, it was an incredible run.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And maybe we're going to get back to one of those runs here.
Yeah, very soon.
I anybody that says they're not making the playoffs this year, I mean, give me a break, man.
No, yeah, no. I think they'll make the playoffs for sure. But well, it's up to Igor. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to. We need him to, be a Vezina caliber goaltender. Like again, like what he did this past season. As long as he could just put up at top numbers.
You guys are freezing on me again, man.
Oh, can you hear us now?
Maybe they'll even join back works. He'll be back in 10 seconds. Anyone in the chat with anything?
Hello. You guys got bad Wi-Fi. It's not me, is it? It's not me.
Is it not?
Maybe it is us. I'm not sure.
Bill, where are you doing this? Like, are you in New York right now? Are you in the city?
No, I'm in Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that. I don't know. No, but
I'm right near the router too.
All right. We're gonna blame it on Nico since he's closer to the city right now. So.
No, we're all right. I mean, are you guys recording this?
What's up?
Are you guys recording this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are gonna have to edit it out.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
It's all right. Don't worry. What was I talking? What were we talking about?
The favorite Rangers team. I said 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah, same, definitely. And then 2014 was definitely cool for sure. I mean, 2014 was kind of unexpected in a way because, I mean, if you think about it, we were, the team on paper, we had a lot of depth, but I mean, it wasn't compared to other teams. I feel like, we might have gotten, you know, out, outmatched from other teams, maybe like Pittsburgh, for example. I mean, we were down 3-1, and then we had like what happened with Marty St. Louis and that whole comeback, and just made it all the way to the final. I mean, that team. I don't know if you would agree, but I mean that team might have been a bit of a surprise as well. I don't know.
I just think anytime you get to the cup, it's what's so great is the playoffs. You just
Yeah.
know who can say. I don't think any of you guys. I know I didn't saw them go in the conference final last year. I mean, you kidding me?
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
Got some
definitely.
breaks against
Magical.
Pittsburgh, obviously, with the Crosby getting hurt and the goalie going out.
Yeah.
But heck, they played really well. That's the beauty of the sport. Playoff time.
No,
Anything
100%.
could happen.
And it's always like, for the most part, I feel like it's also like the teams that win the cup is like, it's one of like the more unexpected teams that kind of,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like you have like your cup favorites, and then it's just like one of like those teams that you rank like fifth or sixth that, makes it all the way and wins it, like kind of like St. Louis for example, in 2019, they're
Washington
like,
was discounted.
yeah, exactly.
You know what I can't wait to see? Georgiev on a cup defending team here as a potentially number one goalie with no track record in that spot. That's going to be fascinating.
Yeah,
no, definitely.
What gives Colorado the idea that, look, maybe he'll be a number one, but he doesn't have any track record being a number one?
No, not at all.
Yeah, it's definitely a risk.
I mean, Darcy Kemper, do you think like winning a Stanley Cup I mean, besides the fact Colorado was a good team up front and whatnot, but like I don't know. I personally didn't see Darcy Kemper like, being the guy, to, help a team win a Stanley Cup. I wasn't too big on him. I don't know what you guys thought,
I think their thought is we don't need an A-level goalie because our team's so good.
Yeah.
They only got Georgiev in there for like $3 million. Kemper went to the Caps for like $5 million. So I think Colorado feels like that they can compensate if their goalie is not an A guy. Maybe he's a B+ guy. Save the money, and they had cap issues. So that I think a lot of that is, hey, we're so good we can pretty much just have somebody in there who's adequate. Kemper didn't have to be spectacular.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think it also helps to have like a guy like McKinnon on, a cheaper deal than what he probably should be, being paid. I mean, what was he being paid? Like $6 million, Evan, at the time?
Yeah, on that sweetheart deal.
that saves you a lot of cap to, bring in other guys, important pieces, whatever they brought in,
Right.
That definitely helps if you have like a guy like imagine if like Zibanejad or something like that like took like a sweetheart deal just for like a short amount of time. Like I think this team could win a cup that way as well. I mean, if we had like that one player to like that be one player that can make like an impact on our team to take like a deal like that, or Igor, yeah. I mean that definitely I feel like benefit us, down the road for sure.
I mean, he's on that deal right now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but Nico, you have any other questions?
Yeah,
you wrote down. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say just another lighter question. Simple. What's your favorite movie of all time?
You guys ever see Scarface?
Nah,
never
heard of it.
Familiar though.
With Al Pacino, that was I watched that a bunch. I don't know. Animal House, is that before your time?
Yeah, probably.
John Belushi. You guys know who John Belushi is?
No.
I'm gonna be honest, no.
Jesus, guys. What's your favorite movie?
I'll go the Mighty Ducks.
What?
Mighty Ducks.
How about the one with Kurt Russell as the hockey coach? What's that one called? About the Olympic team that won in '80. Miracle on Ice.
Oh, Miracle on Ice.
Yeah.
That's a good
Herb
one.
Brooks, whatever.
Yeah,
Coach was Herb Brooks.
Yeah,
that was definitely a good one. I'm more of like a horror movie guy, so I don't know. I have a few favorite horror movies for sure.
Okay.
You know the Purge, the movie The Purge.
I do not.
Oh, it's a bit violent, but you should definitely check it out if you're into that.
All right.
Yeah, no. Yeah. What was your favorite movie you said?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Miracle on
Scarface.
Ice because we're
Miracle
talking
on
hockey.
Ice.
How's that?
Yeah,
Good
Miracle on
Very
pick
Ice.
good
for
choice.
that one.
Classic.
So you live in Connecticut right now, or you're
Yeah.
just okay? So you drive to MSC Networks like every time there's like a Ranger or Knicks game, pretty much, right?
Metro North, baby,
Metro North, got it.
and I stay over a lot too.
Oh, really? In like
Yeah.
some hotels or something,
Yeah,
obviously.
I have some family there in the city. I stay with a lot.
Oh, that's
Oh,
nice.
nice.
That's
Yeah.
cool. What's your favorite part about like New York and not even just working there, just like the city, and
I
because
don't know.
it's
There's
such a
like a
great city, but
special juice to New York that other cities don't have.
yeah,
It's an energy. Yeah, I just a certain buzz that with people honking and screaming, and it's
yeah,
like New York. It's got a unique energy for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, that guy was at game 2 against the Hawks.
Oh
And
yeah, I forgot to tell you.
Wait, did you not? Were you guys outside our window?
Bro, I was knocking on your window, and
that
you're just like,
Hey, was that insanity? Hey, that just goes to show
that
you,
was
right?
nuts.
Knicks win a playoff game, 7th Avenue gets shut down, right?
Oh my God, it was
yeah, if
so
they win a
nice.
title,
Imagine a championship.
imagine.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude, you
Uh,
just like after the game, you walked out, and it was just like streets were flooded, like people, that were driving down those streets, pissed off because they couldn't get through. There were no cops for like the first few minutes, like controlling what was going on. Everyone, it was just pure mayhem. We want Brooklyn chants, F Trey Young chants.
That was great. Too bad they
F,
didn't win another game, but that's okay.
yeah, man. I mean, I thought we could have won the first game as well. That was a very close game, but
Right,
Trey Young being Trey Young, so you
right.
kind of. But yeah, that was such a crazy night. And then after that, cops kind of like settled everything down. And then I went over with a few other fans, and we're just knocking on the window. No, we love you.
That's great. That's
It
great.
was just
I'm glad the
wow.
glass didn't break.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. Wait, so did you hear like the fans, or like you kind of just like
No,
you heard them?
we could just see the madness outside the window there.
Oh, but you couldn't like hear you, so you can't hear anything outside that's going on.
Not great. No.
Not great. Is it like soundproof glass or something like that?
No,
Or?
but I mean it's a you can hear a little bit, but I mean look, there's a wall there and glass,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely for sure. Yeah, no, that was. Were you inside the building for that game or no?
No. I pretty much watching our studio there
Oh, you
across the
just stay in
street.
studio, right?
I like to
Yeah.
hear what the announcers are saying when I'm covering the game. I like to know what's it's
Yeah.
very hard.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, he froze. Gonna have to wait a minute. But people in chat, keep questions coming. Would help
Yeah.
out a lot.
I
I'm
mean, I
still
don't
trying to
have.
think of lingo for him.
Yeah, if you guys have any lingo, just put it in the chat.
Anyway,
for
I was saying I like to watch not in the arena because I like to hear Mike and Clyde call the game, so I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Do they ever bring you in like to watch like any Ranger or Nick games just because, or your job is to not only cover the game, but I mean to stay in the studio and
No, I can go to
watch
the
it?
arena if I want, but I just
Okay.
prefer to watch on
Just
TV
stay.
and listen to a lot of times you don't know what a call is, what an
Right.
injury is, that kind of thing.
No, definitely for sure.
When you are in the arena, what are the go-to seats for you? Are you a Chase Bridge guy? Are you a Blue
Well,
Seats
so
guy?
we do the Knicks pregame up on the Chase Bridge, so that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Bill, I have to ask you, what happened to Al Trodwig?
It's a good. He just retired, and he
Retired?
had a wonderful career, and
Okay. Because me and Evan and Nico thought, he just got let go by MSC Networks. If it was retirement, then that makes a lot more sense. But
guy's a legend. He had a great career for
yeah,
sure.
not definitely.
Yeah.
Especially watching like some of like those, old Ranger teams and just seeing him on like the pre and post game shows, and it was cool though.
100%.
Yeah. listening to the old intro music, seeing him do it with the cars in the background, MSG right in the background, brings back vibes.
Yeah, he was
But
really good at what he did. That's for sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
100%. We do have a question coming in from the chat. SJ wants to know, what can we expect from Kravtsov and Kako move ahead production wise?
Well, I don't. It doesn't seem like Kraftsov has had the best training camp here, which is concerning. So
Mhm.
that's a big hole on the wing. Kako had a couple goals last night. He's joking, God, I wish I could save one for the regular season. Look, if Kako can take the next step offensively, that would obviously be huge. I think you got to be a little bit worried right now about Kraftsov because they were counting on him for a big role. So we'll have to see how this plays out here early in the season.
Completely agree. Do you think personally they should have gave Brennan Hoffman that 9-game tryout?
I think they determined he wasn't ready. I think he's already scored like 3 goals and up for Flint. The guy's a machine. Obviously, I think he might be a good bet to make it next year. I'll tell you that.
Mhm.
No doubt.
Yeah, 100%. And we do have one more question in from Matthew, and then we'll let you go. He says, what about trading for Pugliarvi for right wing 1 and moving the kids to line 2?
I have no feel on Pugliarvi. You
What
guys
would you
have
think
any
though
feel
about
for him at all?
Not really. I mean, I don't see the potential anymore with him. He was drafted, 4th, 5th overall. I don't see it. But do you think that they should maybe go with the kid line on the second line? Because we were kind of having a discussion. Maybe you go top heavy with Kreider's advantage at Panarin on one line, and then you go with the kid line as line 2.
Do you guys really think there's that big a difference between 2 and 3?
Depends how coach rolls out the lineup. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm also concerned with who they have there on the second line with the right wing spot.
Yeah, I look, Jimmy Vesey's on a PTO deal there, trying to make the team, and right now he's in the top 6. I think that's not ideal. So look,
Yeah, definitely.
we'll have to see. That's the big question for me right now is how these lines are going to sort out. So we'll have to see.
Oh yeah,
guys, I really appreciate all your support. Thank you for having me on. All right.
Thank you so much for
no,
coming.
Thanks so much for joining.
Bill, one more question. One more question, Bill. Was Trouba the right choice for the captaincy?
It seems
honest
so.
answer.
It seems so. I personally, like, other sports don't make such a big deal about the captain. I don't know why the hockey community, the hockey culture does.
Yeah.
But he seems like he's a great choice. I mean, the players seem like they're really happy with that. So,
Fair enough.
Fair. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so
much.
All right,
boys.
For coming
yeah.
on.
Stay in touch.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, for sure. Thank you again.
Appreciate it. Sick.
All right, guys. That was Bill Pidto of the MSG Network, who was just on with us. Definitely got some good answers there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Awesome. 2012 team. I know that made your day.
Let's go.
See you later.
Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Once again.
Bye, boys.
Bye.
But yeah, the 2012. I know that got you. That got you electric.
Absolutely. I mean, my organs are jumping up and down right now. I can feel them. Boom, boom, boom. You know, they're just like, it's like mayhem in there. It's a party.
Definitely a good first guest for us as well.
Yeah.
Like SJ said, we're definitely gonna hope to
get more in the future.
Yeah, definitely a good first one. We wanted to get one before the season started for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And thank you guys for helping out with sending in questions there last minute. That definitely did help out with the interview. So props to you guys as well in the chat for coming through. But just to go back to the Rangers for the rest of the questions that we had. I mean, we kind of addressed this one. How, and I kind of want to ask the follow up to it. How do they fix the problem right now with the right wing situation?
Right now?
Yeah. Do we have any answers?
I don't think there is an answer. I think, I mean, unless if you make a trade, but yeah, you got to experiment. I think right now, what you have to do is experiment, and then you kind of just figure out, like, kind of moves you have to make at the deadline or near the deadline. But if it really is that bad, then a trade may come like very soon, within like the first month or two of the season, if it's that bad. But I mean, I don't think it will be that bad. But I think right now they're just gonna experiment, like Nico said, and see what they have to do for the deadline.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just sucks at the deadline. There's just not a lot of names. Is there anyone like left in free agency that could maybe? Because at this point, I mean, we're begging for scraps, right? Because I'm concerned a bit. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very concerned actually.
Yeah, no,
That's a
definitely.
problem, but
Victor
hopefully
Rask.
Victor Rask.
Yeah,
I thought we should have got Phil Kessel.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Me too.
Phil
That'd
at
been
1.5,
insane.
Paul Stassi at 1.5 again. Why couldn't we get any of these guys?
Was it? I remember watching your deadline like live, Evan. I don't know if you were talking to Nick, but he was fascinated with the idea of getting Phil Kessel.
Yeah, that was me. I was on
you?
the call with. Yeah, I wanted Ketzel so bad. I thought he'd be insane with this team. I thought he'd be lighting it up. And then you get the added benefit with Amanda Kessel. Now it's just messing Amanda. That was no, Amanda.
No, Jacob.
Jacob.
No, Jacob.
Another
No,
guy
but-
that I would like on the team in the bottom 6 is Tyler Bozak. That's a guy I wanted last year, and he's considering retiring. I hope we're on the list of teams that he'd play for, because I would love to get him on the team.
Yeah, so he
Guy
was
wins
interested in a few
faceoffs.
teams, but I don't know who knows who those teams are that he's interested in.
Alex Galchenyuk.
Oh,
Fuck
no.
with him.
Okay. Do you give him a chance? I mean,
get that down bad.
Why not? I don't know.
what do you have to lose?
Facts.
He actually wasn't bad on Toronto not too long ago, right?
I guess.
The last time I remember Galchenyuk was relevant was when he was with Montreal, honestly. Other than that, I just
Agreed.
don't know where the hell he went. But yeah, we have nothing to lose, so it's like kind of like whatever.
I agree that's not optimal, but VC could handle it. Maybe you give Gauthier one more shot here. That might be the play. You give Gauthier one more look, and you tell him this is it. If you don't do it, you're Gonzo Alonso. But you have your chance here. This is your time. But that's definitely another internal option that they have. It's tough. It's tough. James Neal, the real deal.
James Neal, wow.
The real deal.
Dude, that guy really fell off the face of the earth.
I don't know what happened to him after Vegas.
Bro, he was a beast. Even with Pittsburgh, he was good too, bro.
Yeah, after Vegas, he just fell off. He was a 40 goal scorer at one point.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
He was the real deal.
No doubt about that, yeah.
And now he's not the real deal. I don't know how else to put it, but I mean, he still wasn't bad not too long ago with Edmonton in 1920. He had 31 points in 55 games. The year after that, in 29, 10 points. Last year at St. Louis in 19 games, he had 4 points. I mean, maybe you give him a chance. What do you have to lose right now?
No, 100%. I mean, it's like low risk, high reward with him. James Neal, right? You're talking about James Neal. Did I hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Just want to make sure.
I mean, yeah, worst case, you send him down, then he goes on waivers. I would definitely give him a look, but they're going to have to do something because this is not ideal at all. But does anyone in chat have any final questions before we end things for today? We'll give a minute to get those questions. And sorry to Bill, but it was a live show. We couldn't cut anything out of that. So
who cares?
Sorry to him there. Because he was saying yeah, cut it out, but we couldn't. It's a live show.
It's whatever.
No, I don't care. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Can Riedel play right wing? Yeah, but unfortunately he got optioned to Hartford an hour ago or so. So that's the unfortunate part of that. I wanted him to play, but even then, I didn't think Gustav Riedel was going to be a top guy on the team either way. VC looks to be stealing the second line wing. He probably will keep it. Yeah, which again, not optimal, but he could do it until Kaka or Lafreniere take it. Yeah, 100%. But we're going to end things here. Thank you guys so much for listening to the latest episode here of Rangers Talk. If you did enjoy, you must have enjoyed if you listened to the entire thing. Thank you again for Bill for coming on. But be sure to leave a like on this if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new. And if you're listening to the audio version, give us a review and rating. Thank you so much. And we will see you guys next time. Let's go Rangers.